What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Heart of the City, episode 124. We are in the building here to talk New York sports. It's your boy Unpopular Opinion Sports with my co-host Coach Ed from Coach Ed Sports, and we got a lot to get into. Jets, Giants, lots to talk about. Had a big draft weekend. We're going to get into it, all the news and spill coming out of that. The Knicks, big game 5 dub. Looking at game 6, can they close it out? We're going to get into that. The Yankees, man. The Yankees have been smoothing and pushing along, man. We're going to tap into the Yankees. Going to tap into the Mets. The Mets, of course, trying to get back into the hunt. And we're going to get into culture and Coach's Corner, of course, all that much more. But before I get into it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for Unpopular Opinion Sports, the Aboriginal Sports Network, as well as Coach Ed Sports. And speaking of, Coach, you back, man. What's good with you?
No, I'm good, man. I appreciate everyone. You know, I was out on IR. I get it. I seriously had a big fall. You know, some of y'all could see it on my face, cut up my face. Looked like I was in a fight with Mike Tyson, man. But doctors, everybody concerned about the spine and everything. But I'm good, man. Taking it step by step, man. So, what about you? How you doing, bro?
Maintaining, man. Glad to be here tonight. Glad to talk sports, man. It's a lot going on, and hey, man, no other place to be but right here. As I said, got Big Pat on the tracks back there with the controls. So, speaking of, man, let's dive right into it, man. We getting in the heart of the city, man. You already know what it is. Let's go.
Ricey K, the Raisin Man.
All right, we are back, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. And we are going to hit these blocks. We got to do a little around the city and just tap in, like I said, to what's going on around in the city, because look, the playoffs are here for one team, and that is the Knicks. So that is the buzz in the city. But we're going to get into the Knicks. We're going to get into the rest of these teams. Let's go around the city here.
I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Said I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the The love and respect first.
All right. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Like I said, getting into the Knicks. The Knicks.
New York Knicks.
Knicks with a monster game 5. Jalen Brunson and company getting it done. Brunson had 29 in the game. Karl Anthony Towns with 16 and 14 rebounds. OG Anunoby, who's played very well this playoffs, had 17, 10 rebounds. So the Knicks with the 126-97 win over the Hawks. And hey, man, if you're a Knicks fan, you got to be feeling pretty good about your chances in this series now, because it got a little dicey there, you know, with 2-2. That's a coin flip, you know. So we're going to talk about the Knicks, though, a little bit later and getting into game 6 and what it all means. And let's see if the Knicks can close it out. You know, this is a closeout game. Pressure is on. Shout out to Cave. I know Cave is going to be at the game down there in the ATL. Shouty. Down there in the ATL. So, let's see if the Knicks can close it out. You know, Karl Anthony Towns has stepped up. Jalen Brunson has stepped up, you know, and the Knicks have finally woke up. You know, I guess the Hawks woke them up. I don't know, because they was sleepwalking, it felt like, through those first couple games. So that is on the Knicks. And like I said, we're going to get into them a little bit later. Let's get into the Nets.
Brooklyn Nets.
So, longtime Nets fan, Mr. Whammy. Yeah, Mr. Whammy, like 90 years old. He's been a 30-year season ticket holder for the Nets. You know, he's got the little hex sign he puts up there. He will be attending the draft lottery selection on May 10th. Nets owner Joe Tsai tweeted this out a couple days ago. And the Nets looking for some luck. Because it's like, I think it's kind of like a 46% chance they get 6 through 8, and then like a 48% chance, then like a 52% chance they get into the top 5. So it's kind of a coin flip almost, you know, for the Nets here. And a lot of Nets fans, I know Leaf, myself, it's kind of a little skeptical right now whether the Nets can get into that top 3. But hopefully Mr. Whammy can give us luck. All right. Next up, we got the Giants.
New York Giants.
All right, so the Giants signed D tackle Shelby Harris. They have also just recently signed, as producer Pat put out there, this guy's name is Nico Leaky Fotu. So Leaky Fotu, believe he played for the Raiders last year. So the Giants adding to their defensive front, and they're gonna need the help with the loss of you know who. So the Giants expected to sign more defensive tackles. They got 2 today. We'll see if they sign anybody else in the next coming days. On to the Jets.
New York Jets.
And the Jets are set to bring in Russell Wilson. I don't know why my screen is not updating. There we go. There's Russ. Jets set to bring in Russell Wilson for a visit. Jets looking for a backup to Geno Smith. Of course, they did draft Cade Klubnik, whatever his name is. I think so. But so the Jets trying to get their quarterback room straight, bringing in old Russ. Of course, you know Russell Wilson. He just wants to stay in New York. Can't be with the Giants no more. So why not go next door to the Jets? Makes perfect sense. All right. Next up, who we got next? Let's go to the Yankees.
New York Yankees.
So Yankees make that 9 out of 11 because they just lost today 3-0 to the Rangers. They are now 20-11. So did this graphic a little bit earlier. Should have waited, but anyway, nevertheless, the Yankees have still been very good. They did beat the Rangers yesterday, I believe. It was 3-2, and then game 1 was 4-2. And it has been the pitching. Yesterday it was Cam Schittler. Was the pitcher getting it done. So the Yankees definitely, despite the loss tonight, still looking pretty good in first place in that division. And yeah, still in first, ahead of Tampa Bay. So let's go to the Mets.
New York Mets.
So the Mets have dropped 7 out of 10, and right now they are down 10-2 to the Washington Nationals. Mets, man, it's bad out there. It's bad out there for the Mets. They have dropped their tickets to $4. $4. That's a biggie bag at Wendy's, dog. Like, that's how bad it is for the Mets right now. I'm sorry, man. $4. Yeah, it was $4 yesterday, and I think $5 today. And they got some kind of package deal. They just doing anything. Carlos Mendoza under fire. And yeah. Hey, give me a couple dollars. I might go to a game. I don't know, man. Like that's yeah, man. I don't know what these men, what's going on with the Mets right now. Woo, it's pretty bad. But that's all I got for around the city. Not much news in hockey. All the hockey teams are sitting at home right now watching the NHL playoffs with the rest of us.
NHL.
Yup. And this is when you say NHL, you get this. Because there's nothing going on. All of them are at home. I'm sure there's probably going to be some firings, hirings, and things like that we will get into at a later date. But that's all I got for around the city. Let's get to the next one.
I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Said I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, but I want the love and respect first. Yeah, I want the power, the love and respect first.
All right, man. Now, I want to get into these draft grades with you, Coach. And I want to talk about this draft for both teams, for the for the Giants and Jets. Also want to get into Game 6, Game 5 and 6. What happened in Game 5 and Game 6 with the Knicks-Hawks series. And then we're going to touch on the Yankees a little bit and maybe the Mets. But what is your thoughts on, because we haven't got your thoughts. You've been away, as you said. What is your thoughts on, let's start with the Giants. What is your thoughts on what the Giants did in the draft, and what grade would you give them before I pull up the PFF grades?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you good.
I like what the Giants did overall with the draft. Look, I'm going to say it. Before the Dexter Lawrence trade, remember, I did a 4-part series on the 4 players who I thought were best for the Giants at 5. And let's just say 2 of the players the Giants got at 5 and 10 was in that 4-part series. Now, I know a lot of people were saying they weren't expecting Arvell Reese to drop, but I'm not saying I expected him to drop, but I got a little inkling that the Jets, and this shout out to the few Jets fans that I communicate with on a regular basis, and they were talking about who they ended up drafting.
Yeah. He was in my mock draft.
And that's exactly why I started saying, okay, so if the Jets don't take him, do I think the Cardinals will? I mean, there was the possibility, but I said the percentages said no. Tennessee was that toss-up. I think they would probably take him at a higher rate? Yeah, I did. But I also said, in case they don't, he's falling to the Giants. And y'all know I love Sonny Reese. Y'all know I did. Sonny Styles. Sorry, Reese.
Nah, yeah.
Combining the two. Yeah, that would be the ultimate line.
Yeah, right. Sonny Reese. Yeah, put him on the Giants right now.
Yeah, so, but you just had to take Reese. I mean, his versatility and what he brings to the table, and just listen to the young man talk, man. I mean, he says when you describe his game, and as a coach, I love it. He said it's violent. That's what you love as a coach. So, I mean, CC, I mean, that's a great one. And you know what? Don't forget, his brother plays for the Jets. So it's like, you got the family right here in New York. So it's like, okay. So good cornerback. If we develop him well, it'll fit in perfectly. Look, people can hate the Fields trade. I loved it.
My favorite
now
pick.
Look. Is there some things he has to improve on? And those of you on Twitter who were trying, or the one person who was trying to make it seem like I was crapping on Fields, which I wasn't, but I'm a coach. Yes, there are things to his game he has to improve on. That's any rookie coming into the NFL. I mean, this person was telling me, oh no, Fields is the number 2 receiver right now. I'm like, no, not right now. No, and I think what he said, he thinks Fields will end up with 700 yards by the end of the season. Okay, we get that, great, but again, I love the trade. I do. I've been following Fields because I follow Notre Dame also. So I saw what he brought from Virginia. So, and the 6th-round draft picks, man, come on. You developed them, Davis, Kelly, and Travis. man, the Travis kid. I mean, his movement, some of the things that you can work on. Yes, he's a run stuffer. Okay, but there's little tweaks that, if you really pay attention, he has quickness. So if he can get quick in between the center and the guard, he can probably push the pocket into the quarterback's face, or at least, you know what, cause a double team and somebody else can sneak in off of a blitz. So, Jack Kelly, yeah, I think everyone loves Jack Kelly. His
Jack
game,
Kelly.
yes,
Pat calls him Captain Jack. Yeah.
No, that's what they call him. That's what they call him out at BYU. It's Captain Jack. So yes, that's and he's a born leader. You can tell from his play. He's an inspirational leader. So overall, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, and you said the grade. So you've taken away from what I was going to release, but it's an A-.
Oh, you don't, okay. I was going to say, you don't have to give it right now.
I'll give it to it.
So you say A-, and we got the PFF grades. Pull those up real quick. So they gave them an A. They gave the Giants an A, and honestly, I think it's an A too. I can't. You know me with corners, and Colton Hood. I mean, it was a good value pick. I really wanted a D tackle in that spot, but then I thought about it. They wasn't really trying to replace Dexter Lawrence with a draft pick. But then you bring in all these defensive tackles, and I'm like, damn, yeah, you could have just picked a D tackle right there at 37, but you want to help your secondary, so it's kind of a back and forth. But so I could have knocked them for that, but then what they did, like you said, in the 6th round, and adding all those players who, for 6th round picks, a lot of people are high on J.C. Davis, and Jack Kelly in particular, and Bobby Jamison Travis. I mean, that's added depth that, he has an instant role on your team. So definitely like those picks. Would give him I would give him a solid A. But what's your thoughts on what the Jets did in the draft? Let's get to the Jets real quick, and then we're going to see who had the better draft. So
the Jets, I like what they did too, man. I think they did a phenomenal job. I know there have been, I mean, I've seen different publications where some people are high on Bailey, some people are not. They graded, I saw one that they gave the Jets a C- for Bailey. I forget which one it was. Yeah, and I'm like, harsh. That's kind of harsh. But the Sadiq and the Cooper, trading back up for the Cooper, phenomenal job, man. It really is. And look, you can say what you want about that quarterback. He's still a veteran. And if you give him some weapons, I think he can produce. Ponds, look, he's a scrappy SOB. He really is. The only thing that's knocking him is his height. But if he was 6 feet, if he was 6'1", easily a first rounder, in my opinion. Easily. So, you go down their list and look at every pick that they had. They did a good job. Cade Klubnik, say what you want, develop him. He'll be a nice backup. That's exactly what you need. Especially going into next year. So, and plus, you know what? It shows me that coaching staff and the front office are working together. They're not thinking about, firing the head coach. They're thinking of, let's do what we got to do to make sure that we win. Right. And that's what's most important. So, overall, you know what? I'm a little bit higher. I give the Jets an A.
I think I'm right there with you. I give them an A too. I think it's a neck and neck thing. That's why, I wanted to bring up this topic. Look, me and Pat looked at Daryl Jackson Jr., the pick 103 from Florida State. You know what I'm saying? That is a sneaky good pick right there. You know what I'm saying? He was on our defensive tackle list when we did it for the Giants, and yeah, he can come in, play the three tech, you know, and you could develop him there, and they might have a piece. And also the guard Omar Cooper, I looked at him a little bit too. He's got some things to work on, man, but he's a guard, you know, played over there with Mauigoa, you know, so you could develop him. I think that could be depth on your offensive line right there. So I think those picks right there, you know, in those back end rounds right there, definitely put this draft up there for me. But who had the better draft? Coach, I think you're already saying the Jets by your grade, but what you think?
I mean, it is the Jets. I really do like what the Jets did. I can't lie to you, man. And that's, I mean, look, if you could say A plus minus, that's how close it is. I really think with the two. The Jets, you know, look, you know, I mean, 3 first-round draft picks, man. That's kind of where it lies, man.
Yeah.
They got 3 first-round draft picks. And
That's
the trade up for Cooper, that's a sneaky good get. You know, and you do still, I mean, you still have Ponds who, you know, you develop him. I think he's going to be and he to me, he's in the mode of his head coach. He really is. You know, it kind of looks like him. They were saying that he's kind of like a little baby Aaron Glenn, kind of like exactly. So
both teams did trade up for wide receivers, though. The Giants trading up for Fields, Jets trading up for Cooper. A lot of people are celebrating the Cooper trade up and knocking the Giants for their trade up. I looked at the chart, and the Giants actually got a 10% discount on that trade up. So
look, people want to kill the Giants because they're like, oh, they gave up too much. Charlie, you know,
yeah, he always
first of all, I always say, you know, because you're swapping picks in a sense. So the 4th for a 3rd. So, and you know what, the 4th for next year, okay, you can make the argument, but you know what? If they get comp picks, to me, I just watch that. I really do. I just watch it. So really, you're just giving up a 5th round draft pick to move up into the 3rd round. That's how I look at it. That's how I rationalize it. You know, because more than likely, to me, they're going to get comp picks next year. I really feel it strongly because that's why they're playing this game with, you know, the maneuverability and not signing guys earlier. To me, that says they're going to get a comp pick. So if they don't get a 4th, they get a 3rd round comp pick. Let's say for argument's sake. Okay, are you going to be bitching and complaining then? I mean, that's why I say, to me, it's a wash for next year. I'm not worrying about that. I look at it as you just gave up a 5th round draft pick to move up into the 3rd round. Why wouldn't you do that? I think the biggest issue is because people look at it as, well, we went from the 3rd and down to the 6th, so there were so many great players in between that you lost out on. But you still got another great player. What is the issue? You know, so
I think you got some pretty good players in that 6th round, all things considered. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So you got defensive linemen, and they're young, and they can be developed. And look, they might be, you know, they might be 24, 25, but that means they're not, you know, going to make too many young mistakes. So I look at it differently. So, you know,
I'm gonna give the Giants the edge in the draft, and I thought about it, but I think the Giants got better value. Because you get think about it. Most people were projecting Arvell Reese 2 or 3, and you get him at 5.
Oh, fair.
I seen projections where CC was projected to go to the Cardinals at 3.
Excuse me.
And a lot of mock drafts, and you get him at 10, arguably the best offensive lineman in the draft overall. Colton Hood, a first-round pick, you get him in the second round at 37. Everybody said that dude was a first-round pick. So those 3 picks right there, I think, put it slightly over. The Jets did get good value. I just don't think they got the value that the Giants got. And the Giants mostly just, stood pat except for that 3rd-round trade up. So, but it's kind of,
they're both right there.
Right.
Both right there.
Right,
So,
right. You know what I'm saying? So I think both teams did very well in the draft. I don't think I seen the Jets sign anybody. Like I said, we did talk about the Giants signing those 2 defensive tackles. What's your thoughts on that real quick? Shelby Harris and let me give y'all this. Hold on here. Let me give y'all this. But go ahead and talk about Shelby Harris. And,
it's good. It's good. It's good value. It's good depth. Affordability. So I mean, it to me it does wonders. So and it's exactly what the Giants need to do. You need that depth on that defensive line. We have whatchamacallit from last year. He's a young player. These veterans are going to be, just what we need. And look, supposedly, I mean, I don't really go too much into that, but I'm keeping an eye out on next year, and there's supposed to be some really good defensive tackles next year. So I'm going to try and pay attention to that and see how guys perform, because that can also up their stock or drop it. So, but to me, that's also why they're signing veterans on 1-year contracts, because you know what? Next year, you're going to have more money, depending on how the draft shakes out. You might be able to just come back and reload and make it a whole lot better. So, but as far as the 2 that they signed, just what they needed. They needed those depth pieces. They're veteran. They're professional guys. I love that. I love that video.
So this is
I love that video.
This is your boy Shelby Harris, Giants' new defensive tackle. Just signed today in one of his post-game interviews. I believe this is with the Browns.
He's a hoe, and I want that known. I see why he got punched in the nuts, because that's he says some things that you should not say to another man ever. But I don't respect it, because you say that, then run behind your O-line. That's some real soft shit, and I want that known. I see exactly why they punched your nuts. I'm surprised nobody punched him in the jaw yet.
So Shelby Harris bringing anger and aggression to the Giants defense, and I, for one, love it. It's about time you got some dudes that's angry, and football's an aggressive game. You ain't playing ping pong, dude. You playing football. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you should be ready to punch somebody in the jaw if they do something out of pocket on the field. That's right, Shelby. You fucking right. That's what I'm talking about, bro. You got Arvell Reese, dead serious. You see his demeanor, ain't playing no games. Cam Scatterbo and Jack Kelly are out of their minds. They will run into a wall, literally. You got some angry, don't even get up with Kayvon Thibodeau and Abdul Carter. Those dudes got something to prove too. You got a lot of angry, aggressive cats on this Giants team now. CC and Jermaine Illuminor on the offensive line. Yeah, you got some dogs.
just what we need. So,
You know, Fields, physical, aggressive. Neighbors, aggressive, angry. Attitude. No more soft shit. That's what I'm talking about.
Look, it's all about business now. It's no more of, I'm your friend as a coach and I'm trying to be your buddy. No, hell no. Be my coach. Coach me up. I'm not saying we can't go have a drink every now and again, but
right.
It's like, if the coach is your parent in a sense, that's kind of the mindset. I mean, look, I'm not trying to be your friend because I got to make those tough decisions, and, as a friend, guess what? If I'm your buddy, you may not cut somebody who needs to be cut.
Right.
So, let's see. Jets today exercised a 5th-year option on Will McDonald. You were talking about
makes sense. Yeah.
Trying to see anything else with the Jets. I don't see anything so far.
Yeah, I didn't see anything pop up. I follow the Jets too, just like I follow the Giants. News reporters and everything. They haven't made. Only thing I seen was Russell Wilson. Now they are bringing in Russell Wilson, so we could talk about that a little bit. The Jets, look, man, they need somebody that kind of just knows what they're doing out there. That's what Aaron Glenn needs out there. He needs somebody he can trust. He ain't got time to really develop no rookie right now because pressure's on him to win games. So he got to get this team to a baseline to where, okay, now if they put a rookie in there, you want to see him take the next step. They got to go to the first step first. They got to get to the first step. You know what I'm saying? And the Giants been kind of doing it simultaneously, teetering with Daniel Jones and things like that. But the Jets didn't have that. They had Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold before him, and they got rid of those guys. So you bring it back in Geno Smith, you sign Russell Wilson. So at minimum, your quarterback room should be functional. That's what I'm thinking, Coach. And with a functional quarterback room and the team that the Jets are building, the Jets going to be able to run the football. They're going to be able to run the football this year. With Breece Hall, the offensive line they got, and so they got tight ends. They should be able to run the football. A lot of teams are going to more 2 tight end sets because they're starting to run the football more. We talked about this 2 years ago, I think. How the league was going back more to running the football. So you're seeing it what the Giants are doing. You're seeing what the Jets are doing. They got their 2 running backs, Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. So I think if you enter Geno Smith and he gets hurt, you can throw Russ out there. He ain't the best thing, but again, he's functional. He should be functional with a good running game. Any quarterback should. You know what I'm saying? As long as they know what they're doing. Now, you can't just toss a rookie out there because your rookie hasn't, you know what I'm saying? He's not going to be able to pick up on blitz coverages and things like that. Some of the nuances that you need in the game. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I didn't think they went with a rookie this year. They just drafted one to develop on the back end, which is smart. Because at minimum, like you said, he can be your, second, third option, moving forward, if you bring in a rookie next year. What's your thoughts on the Russell Wilson signing, and just want to get your thoughts on that real quick, and then we're gonna get into the Knicks. Mets, I see you, Iman Perry, January Sports. I see y'all in the chat. Appreciate y'all as always. Thanks for the love and support. It's Heart of the City, man. We about to turn up. Coach, what you got?
I think number one, it would be a good signing for them. Look, he didn't do well here in New York, but I also think it's a product of the coaching staff. And, they really Dable didn't trust him, and you basically could tell that from the get-go. So, and I think that kind of rattled him a little bit. Now, I'm not saying Russell is the Russell of years ago, but he's still a competent quarterback. He still should be much more functional. Plus, he and Geno are, familiar with each other, so I think they can play off of each other. Also, let's be real. Russell wants to be here in this area, man. His wife is doing things right there in New York. He's trying to set himself for life after football, working in the media. So, what better place to be than in New York? The only other place I could say is LA, but he's right here. So, oh yeah, and I saw that thing about him with the
let's
the
check
bananas.
out
Yeah,
Russell Wilson here with the Savannah Bananas.
Coming to bat, a 10-time Pro Bowler and Super Bowl champion. Please welcome Russell Wilson.
What a full circle moment for Russell Wilson. Played for Jesse Cole's summer college baseball team in 2009, the Gastonia Grizzlies. And now he suits up as a Savannah Banana. Broken bat. Jason Swan fields it between the legs. Flip to the alley-oops.
Coming to bat, a 10.
So
hey, that might be something that he also does to get in the circuit with them. Hey.
So there you have Russell Wilson with the Savannah Bananas talking to the Jets about a possible signing. Russ has indicated he still wants to play football. So, yeah, Russ used to play baseball though. Didn't he? Does he have a baseball background? So he might.
Yeah, he was also on the. He was on. Most people forget he was on the Yankees. He actually was on the. He was traded to the Yankees. He was, and he was there for a hot minute, but he went back to football. So yeah, he was a very good baseball player.
Yeah, no doubt, man. All right, let's get to the Knicks. The Knicks, big win, as I mentioned, over the Hawks in Game 5. Look, man, we talked a lot about Karl Anthony Towns, and people talk about Brunson, baby Brunson. You can't win a chip with a little guy. I disagree, because I've watched enough basketball to know better. But how did you feel about the Knicks' performance, and has your confidence level went up these past couple games where they have seemingly handled the Hawks after going down 2-1?
Here's the deal, okay? The 2 games that they lost by how many points each? 1 point, and they didn't play well. So when they play well, you're seeing the results. Now, do I think they probably took the Hawks a little bit lightly to a certain extent? I'm not going to say completely, but there is that question in the back of my head that, you know what, I think they took them a little bit lightly. But when they play their game and they play defense like they played here, they are a tough team to deal with. They really are. And Karl Anthony Towns is coming into a new metamorphosis. I mean, his passing is starting to... I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't think he could pass like this, man. When he got that triple-double, I'm like, whoa, bro, you can pass like this? Where has this been? And, them starting to put him down a little bit lower in the box, not always starting him up high. I get it when you're trying to keep him up high, but you start him out there, set the screen so he can get to the high post, and now he can see the floor and he can get the passes. It just, the only question, which just like you've always said, is Mikal. Now, if Mikal can look, his scoring, look, do every little thing. Do all the other little things, man. Play better defense. Hey, he has long arms. He can get good deflections. play good defense, get some rebounds, get a few more assists when your shot is not there. I think he's starting to listen too much to what's going on around him. No, don't worry about that, bro.
You know what I always looked at Mikal Bridges is, and it's not to pick, because we've seen him. You know, I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. You know, I cover the team, and it's his demeanor, bro. Like it to me, I think it's in his mind. Like, I think he's easy to rattle. I think he's a guy that when he kind of gets in a slump, he stays in a funk, and it just compiles, and it's hard for him to get out of it. I don't know. I don't think he's, like, mentally. I always question his fit for New York. Even with the Brooklyn Nets. Now he's with the Knicks, which is a bigger spotlight. So now you eyes is really on your game now. Now you're doing this with the Knicks because he was doing this with the Nets. You know, now imagine him as your top option, pretty much going into these in and out of these funks and stuff. And that's what I said, inconsistent. So to give up that many picks, and then that's why I said the trade was bad, you know, it wasn't trolling. To give up that many picks for a player that's that inconsistent. I mean, that inconsistent is just not, it's not good business, you know. But the Knicks got to eat that, you know, and they got to get something out of him. Like you said, you got to get something out of the guy. He can't just be a nothing burger.
And that's really what it boils down to with him. So, but everybody else, man, I mean, everybody else is filling their roles. They understand. Coming off the bench, Deuce. You got Alvarado. I mean, that little. He's like that. I don't want to call him a bug, but you know what I mean. That bug that's always get out of here. Yeah, It's just like you're always swatting. The next thing you know, he's always still there. It's like, you know, but I mean that in a good way, you know. And he's New York. He's New York. He ain't backing down from no one. You know, as you say, he Brooklyn. Brooklyn. So, you know, you see it, and
he's a tough dude.
Yeah. So, you know, and I love that about him. So, I mean, look, if they play like this, you know, every game, you know, you win some, you lose some, but if you stay focused like that and you play like that, and Mike Brown, look, bro, you've been very up and down, you know, but keep doing this, man. Keep coaching like this and making the right adjustments, because you were getting out coached earlier, but now you settled in, and you know what? He's doing the right thing. OG, phenomenal, man. Phenomenal, man. You know, so
you know what the Knicks are gonna need, Coach? Not to cut you, but they need to be a championship team. You need like a goon or two. You know what I'm saying? And because every team got them. Think about, I'm going to give you a recent example. The Warriors with Draymond Green. You need a dude that's going to go in there and kind of stick up for your superstars. Not to say that your superstars are punks, but you don't want them getting rattled in a game. You know, like I've seen sometimes with Karl Anthony Towns. Jalen Brunson's been bothered, you know, at times in this series. You know, so you want a guy like Alvarado, you know, a guy like Mitchell Robinson. You need that kind of toughness, Josh Hart. You need that kind of toughness that for to let Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson be those stars and take you where you need to go offensively, because those are going to be the two most consistent people on this team. And then what you need is one other guy, whether it's OG Anunoby, who did it this series, whether it's Josh Hart, or you would like it to be Mikal Bridges. You need one of those guys to step up for you in each series and bring those tough players in, rotate them in so they can be your goons, your protectors. And I think that if the Knicks can do that, they may be able to get out the East. Because right now, I mean, Detroit won tonight, but they don't look serious. I don't think anybody's really taking them serious. The Celtics are a problem. You got to worry about that. But they, you know, they got their hands full with Philly right now. So if you're the Knicks, you got to be looking at that. Okay, finish off Atlanta in 6, and you know, get your little break, get your rest, and you really got to go into this next series ready to roll.
Look, I'm gonna say this, man, because the Celtics have their hands full, man. Because if Embiid continues to play, and I'm not expecting him to, but if he's the X factor, and that's where if New York faces Boston, if New York gets past Atlanta and goes to the next round, they're going to be in a fight with either team. Because Embiid and Maxey and Paul George, I told a lot of Sixers fans, I said, because they were down on them, and I said that Sixers team, if injuries is a big thing, we all know that. But if they're at full strength, they are a tough team. And I think Boston is seeing it because they don't have anybody down low to handle Embiid. Now, the thing Boston that New York does,
weaker inside now that they don't have Al Horford.
Exactly.
I noticed that. Now,
and that's
what's
where
his name? Cater's okay, but he's not really like that.
No, he's not, and he's getting exposed. And the thing with New York, at least they do have two guys who can handle. Well, they can compete with him. You know, now we've seen Mitchell Robinson go toe to toe with him. You know, the couple of years ago with the.
Now that I'm thinking about it, Boston is a better matchup for the Knicks. That Sixers team might give y'all problems because Embiid can match up with Karl Anthony Towns if he's healthy, and Maxey can damn sure match up with Jalen Brunson.
Exactly. So Paul George and Anunoby actually wash each other. So it could be
a problem.
It's
then
tough,
you got VJ and Bridges, and if Bridges ain't on his game,
you got Grimes, you got Drummond off the bench. So I've watched the Sixers now.
That might be a problem for you. Now don't think about it.
That's why I'm like, hey, but now if New York plays like the way they just played, I'm not saying they're going to walk through, but you asked me how confident I am. If they play like this offensively and defensively, look, I'm watching this the third unit come in and what's his name? Got 10 points. Like I'm like sitting there watching. I'm like,
you need that from your bench. You're gonna need that from your bench. You cannot have your bench come through and give you a nothing burger. Now this is what people complained about with Thibodeau, right?
Yep.
Now you see how this was a blowout game, so of course you got some extra people on the bench, but I'm looking at the stats right here. McBride 20 minutes, Alvarado 12 minutes, Clarkson 16 minutes, Mitchell Robinson 16 minutes. So you can't wear out Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson the first couple rounds if you trying to go to the finals.
Exactly.
Because when you get to the finals, they're going to be beat up, banged up, and you're going to get smoked by whoever come out the West.
But here's the thing, though. That's why I keep reiterating. If they play like this, I think they can play with the teams in the West, man. But they got to play like this. They have to play like this offensively and
Thunder
defensively.
Are a problem for anybody.
But, of course. I'm not saying they're not.
Outside of the Thunder.
But no, it's not good. What I'm saying is, if they play like this, do I think it would be a 7-game series against the Thunder? Yes. That's my point. I'm not expecting them, but they have to play like this. They got to play defense where everybody is on a string. That's what I'm getting at. Offensively, I think they can score with anyone for the most part.
One thing with this Knicks team, and beyond, but this is the most important thing for me, especially with teams like the Thunder, the Celtics, the Sixers not so much. The Sixers play different with Embiid. They play slower. But when it was just Maxey and Edgecombe out there, they play up tempo too. The Knicks have to protect the basketball. You cannot have turnovers that lead to, because those teams gonna run you, and we know, like Towns he's not really running up and down per se like that all game long as far as being a high pace team. You know, the Knicks. I don't think the Knicks are a team that want to play like that. So they got to control.
They did yesterday.
But this is the Hawks team, and again, I'm talking about protecting the basketball. They only had 11 turnovers. You see what I'm saying?
You're right.
So yeah, it's more about them on the offensive end protecting the basketball, because when I watch the Knicks, when they get into trouble, it's they throwing the ball away, they getting turnovers. That's what I'm saying. You can't play that type of game where you always trailing, because you turnovers, because defensively the Knicks ain't that type of team. I know offensively they can get up the court when they need to, but defensively they're not the type of team that really has those type of athletes. Jalen Brunson, we know, is a liability. Karl-Anthony Towns can play defense, don't get me wrong, but you're asking your big man to go up, back and forth when you keep turning the ball over. That's not what you want to do. So
no, you're right.
I do think that is probably one of the main keys to the Knicks, especially if they playing teams like the Thunder, those teams that are long, athletic, and that are going to get in the passing lanes, because you're talking about Karl-Anthony Towns as a passer. Those teams that can get in the passing lane and turn the ball over is going to give the Knicks a lot of problems. That, the Hawks would think about how the Hawks were playing. They were doing that to a degree in the first few games.
Oh, you're right. And I agree with you there. So,
but yeah, so game 6, do they get it done? Are they going to close this one out, Coach? What you think?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get this done because they see now what they need to do, and I think they're also in Atlanta's head now. I think McCollum yesterday was just he was trying to be the antagonist prior to that, but if you're going to be an antagonist, you got to keep showing up. You can't get 6 points.
Yeah, he ain't Ice Trey.
No, he's not. He's not. So, well, is it going to be an easy game tomorrow? No, it's going to be a war. Atlanta's, they know they lose, it's no tomorrow. So, that sense of urgency, and that's the thing the Knicks have to bring to the table. They got to play with that sense of urgency tomorrow too. They got to match Atlanta, because Atlanta's going to bring it. But you bring that sense of urgency, you guys will be able to move forward. So, and you know what? I have to say this, and I'm not trying to take the shot at the kid, because I think he's a good player. But Daniels, man, you talk about Mikal. I'm watching the kid. It's like he's playing like he has no confidence out there.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, bro, because they were killing. Reggie Miller was killing him. You gotta shoot that. He's right there, and I'm like, yeah. But hey, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't really like the Hawks team. How they're kind of built. But they play tough, and what's the coach of the Hawks?
Quinn Snyder?
Quinn Snyder, yeah. He's done a really good job with that team, because they're not super talented. Let's keep it honest. They have talent, but
Johnson is talented.
It's not talent.
Super talented. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's not talent. I mean, you got one guy, and I said this at the beginning of the series, the first game when me and Cave called it. Now, I ain't know CJ McCollum was going to go off and do all the things he did, but like I said, you really got one guy, and that's Jalen Johnson. He hasn't really, really exploded in the series.
Whatever his name,
Okongwu. Yeah.
He's a nice dude too. He is. He
player,
is.
But
he's a role player.
Right.
But I mean, what I'm saying, he's really a stretch forward. They got him playing out of position, because if you had a true center, you could put him at the 4, and I think his game would grow a lot more. Because I remember him when he was coming out of USC. I was just like, yo, the kid looked like he got something. So, but you know what? Enough about this. We still got to show this is heart of the city, man. Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, man. But the playoffs is the big thing right now. So, we always like to get into that. But we're we get into the Yankees here a little bit. Yankees lost to the Rangers 3-0, like I mentioned, in around the city. They did call this kid up, Elmer Rodriguez, 22 years old. So he pitched his first game today. He did okay. 4 innings played, 4 hits, 2 earned, 3 strikeouts. Did have 4 walks though. That you don't like to see that. But nevertheless, Yankees still have won 9 out of 11 now, and they've been looking pretty good. Aaron Judge 0 for 4 today, but he's been hot. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Coach, this Ben Rice kid is. The Yankees got a nice little 1-2 punch now. When you're talking about Judge and Ben Rice, and then you got, hopefully you got a good supporting cast. You got Caballero. You got Chisholm whenever he's on. He's kind of hot and cold. And then you got Bellinger. You got Bellinger right there behind Judge. So I have liked what the Yankees have done. But what has impressed me the most, Coach, and I get on this about this Yankees team, with baseball period, it's been the pitching. The pitching has been phenomenal. Just in this series, the Rangers scored 3 tonight, but they scored 2 the day before, and then I think 2 the day before that. And Cam Schiller and Max Fried, have been aces this year. Now, if you get Garrett Cole back, right, you got 3 aces. That's aces. That's not a 3rd, 4th, or 5th starter. That's aces. And that is exactly the formula you need to win in the playoffs.
Carlos Rodon
coming back too. You know what I'm saying? That is exactly the formula you need in the playoffs, because again, in the playoffs, eventually you're gonna have to turn over to one of your other starters, in a 7 game series. So again, that gives you depth there. Now, what worries me is this bullpen. I do want them to kind of get better in the bullpen. And they do need to get a little more consistent hitting, but not worried about Judge. He's starting off a little slow, and I think I forget what the baseball end of the Buster Only. I listened to Buster Only, and he said that the guys that played in the WBC, the World Baseball Classic, they have been slow starters because of the extra baseball preparation and things like that you have to do. So he was noting that with Aaron Judge in particular. But Judge has picked it up a little bit, batting .252 now, but 0 for 4 tonight. But what's your thoughts on the Yankees, man? Cool.
It's pretty much the same as you. It's going to be about the pitching, and if you get Cole and Rodon back, it's going to really help strengthen your starting pitching. Yes, your bullpen is always going to be key, but maybe the guys who they're using right now, you push one of them into the bullpen. That helps strengthen your bullpen in that regard, hopefully. Excuse me. But when you look at, and I also look at the full spectrum of baseball. The Yankees have basically one of the tops. They're one of the tops in all of baseball. Before tonight, they were tied with the Dodgers, who were 1 game out of behind the Braves for the overall record in all of baseball. So, that's telling me, okay, the Yankees are playing some, top level baseball in terms of everyone else. So, hopefully we can continue that way. But again, it's early. It's like 31 games in. So, it's like, I'm also trying to stay even keeled with it, because it's Still got plenty of time.
And the Yankees are going, like I said, getting Garrett Cole back. A little bit of Garrett Cole news here. It says Garrett Cole gave up 3 runs, 3 hits over 5 2/3 innings Wednesday in his 3rd minor league injury rehabilitation start. So he's working his way back from the injury. Also, Yankees shortstop Anthony Volpe working his way back from shoulder surgery. He went 2 for 4 in a minor league game. So Carlos Rodon, as you mentioned, is set to make his 2nd minor league rehab start Thursday. So the Yankees players are on the mend, and yeah. All right. We're going to hit the Mets real quick. Right. I just had this thing up there. Because the Mets, boy, they be getting their asses whooped. 14-2. As I mentioned, the ticket prices, for this series, very, very low. $4. $4 biggie bag price. So, I mean, bruh. Sure, Mets. Let's bring them in. Damn, why did I lose the share screen? All right, let's bring him in. I hit the wrong button. Show Marty. This is pathetic right here. I think the Mets do need to make some changes. And no, don't come on here saying they're cheap and all this crap like that. But managerial wise, yeah, you can't have this. So one thing about the Mets before I bring Mets on, and I'm going to get his thoughts on this. Alex Cora got fired from the Boston Red Sox. If I was the Mets, I would have fired Mendoza immediately and bring in Alex Cora.
He turned down the Phillies job because he said he wanted to spend time with his family.
He wants to. Yeah, he did turn down the Phillies job, but if I'm the Mets, I'm highly recruiting him. If you can get him, to come in. Now, it might not be this season. That's the thing. But it may be a battle between the Mets and the Phillies for Alex Cora. But by hands down, he's one of the best managers out there. So I would definitely look to bring him in if I was the Mets. But let's hear what our resident Mets content crew has to say.
Look,
what's going on, man?
I'm not too mad with this loss. I expected this, mostly because, like I said, the previous times I was on here, David Peterson is covering up an injury. How else could you be this bad in your first 5 starts? You're hiding something. It was the same thing with Senga. He got busted for having a lumbar infection. Now he's going to be out for a week at minimum. But I say shut him down for the whole damn year. With Peterson, on the other hand, we expect this crap. Look at how bad he was in 23 because he tried to cover an injury up. Am I right, Coach?
As far as covering up injuries, I don't know what the Mets are covering up, so I can't speak to you there. So
And this whole managing thing, the only reason Sterbs keeps this dim-witted jackass in the dugout is because he needs a shield from blame. The problem is a lot of people are going around the shield and ready to take their knives, figuratively, not literally, and stab him in the back the way he stabbed the fan base, both in the back and in the heart. If you guys get the picture I'm trying to paint.
Yeah, I got you, man.
I mean, Met fans are infinitely more passionate than Yankee fans. You guys have at least had a title in the last 20 years.
What you mean?
In terms of coveting a title, you guys have at least had one over the last 20
So we don't
years.
want no championship? Hold up, man.
We haven't won one in almost 40.
You said
the Mets are more passionate than the Mets.
Yankees fans.
No.
Yeah, bro. No.
You're in
man.
New York. New York fans are passionate across the
Okay,
board.
we're desperate for a championship.
Okay, I'll give you that. That I'm going to agree with. They are desperate.
There's been rumors that neither are the scapegoat. It's Lindor because his wife allied herself with to be part of Mondani's cabinet, and that led to destruction of the core because Alonso and Nimmo's wives didn't want to deal with that. So Alonso wasn't given another contract deal, so he walked to Baltimore, and Nimmo got shipped out to Texas.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But
Socialism destroys everything too. Sorry to get political, but that's what I've heard from other rumors from people inside the Met front office.
bottom line,
This team sucks.
This team sucks, right? Would you bring in Alex Cora?
If to bring plate discipline, transparency when it comes to pitcher injuries instead of trying to cover them up and double down on bringing injured pitchers on the mound to start games, yes. Anything to put Stearns under the gun. But we gotta get Mendoza.
Do you want Stearns under the gun, or do you want to win games? That's
both.
What.
The only reason he kept the 24
You
core
like-
around last
you
year
like
because
the
his plan was
Stearns
to get
with-
rid of the core back as far back as 24. Then the miracle run happens and he's forced to keep him another year.
You with Stearns is like these Giants fans with dang on Joe Shane. It's crazy, man. Like, what is your deal with this Stearns guy? Just want him gone?
I can't stand people who do not hold accountability for their screw-ups. Instead of owning up to the mistakes he's made, Stearns has doubled down on them. Instead of getting rid of Mendoza, he's doubled down on keeping him around. Instead of admitting he was wrong to let the core walk, he's doubled down on his decision. He is a callous, emotionless tin man. I have an episode coming up comparing him to an animated character on who's worse in terms of how heartless, cruel, vindictive, and tactically tunnel vision, willing to sacrifice others for their own sick ambitions. Between
Matt, let me ask you this, Matt, because you said he doesn't accept he's not accountable for his actions in a sense. What if he believes that he still has the right coach in place? Because I'm going to tell you, sometimes as a coach, you believe in a player that's out there, and he may be having a bad game or a bad couple of games, but you still stick with him. What if he believes that strongly in this manager? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say I watched the Mets full bore. But my point being is, what if he just strongly believes in him?
Here's my problem. You do not put faith in a wishy-washy, manically depressed, compulsive gambler who should have been put in a psych ward when the team is playing this badly going back to last June, coach. You throw him out. Kick him to the curb, throw him under the bus, and run him over with it.
Okay.
All right. We'll get your thoughts.
See you in a couple of weeks, NYG.
Yeah. We got to do Mets and Yankees. I'm sure that'll be fun.
For you, it will be.
We'll see.
These teams always play up. It doesn't matter who has the better record or not.
Right.
It's a war with these two teams. So
definitely, man. But appreciate you, Mets. We're gonna get the coach segment. Let's see. All right, man. So for culture tonight, we're We're going to do top 5 playoff performers in New Jersey. These are the clutch guys. You got to get it done when it matters. You know, we're talking about the Knicks, so maybe one of these Knicks can be on the list. Maybe there is some Knicks on the list, you know, but it's me and Coach List. This is Coach's segment. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Hit that like and subscribe button, man. And let's get right into it, man. Let's hit it, Pat. Is he there? All right, man. Let's get right into it, man. So, Coach, I guess I could go first. I mean, you've been out for a couple weeks, so you want to set it off, man? You want to get into it first, or
I'll go first if you need me to. That's fine. Whatever you want.
Let's do this, man. Let me bring up my screen. So, top 5 playoff performers. Like I said, I'll go ahead and pop it off. I can get this. All right. So, here we go. So these are the clutch players. Like we said, and look, this list is, you know, people that you know I watched or followed, and just all right. Let me stop rambling. Let's get into it. Number 5. Get a number 5. No number.
Number 5.
Wake up back there, producer. Dr. J. Dr. J. Yeah, man. Dr. J. The only Nets championship. You know, that's what we talking about here. We talking about the Brooklyn Nets, ABA leader, ABA playoff leader in points and rebounds during the Nets title run. 21.9 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. Now, Dr. J's a little bit before my time, but I did want to give my man Dr. J some love and my Nets some love because y'all always picking on my Nets. Just playing. But nevertheless, man, Dr. J, all-time great Hall of Famer. We know all that good stuff. He cracks my list at number 5. Let's go to number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah, got a hockey player up there. Yeah, you know, Mark Messier. If you ain't know about Mark Messier, I don't know what to tell you. You know, it was definitely one of the great playoff performers for the Rangers in that 94 Rangers championship. You know, I remember that vividly. I remember being at the parade, you know, so Mark Messier, always a legend, hockey Hall of Famer, you know, and he helped bring a chip to New York. You know, he was, one of the main dudes. So definitely had to put Mark Messier on my list, number 4. We cannot disrespect the Rangers because, hey, the Rangers, they won, man. And during my time on this earth, I don't know about the 70s or 60s, but anyway, let's go to number 3.
Number 3.
All right, now we get into the heavy hitters. Derek Jeter. Jeter's numbers is ridiculous, but his impact on the game was even more ridiculous. Number-wise, over 300, 20 home runs, 61 RBIs, and 111 runs and 200 hits in the postseason. All-time MLB postseason leader in hits and runs. Yeah. Jeter, man. Jeter, the captain. Gotta have Jeter on the list, man. I'm probably one of the... Well, we're going to see who number 1. Let's go to number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah, you know how to get Eli on there. We gotta get Eli on there, man. Come on, man. Twice against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Yeah, Eli Manning, one of the greatest playoff performers in the NFL history. 2,800 passing yards, 18 touchdowns in 12 playoff games. Of course, you know those 2 epic runs. And again, man, these are people that bought championships during my time here. You know, Dr. J a little bit before me, but had to get the Nets in there. Yeah, Eli Manning, you know, people could put Phil Simms, but Eli won. He was there for both. He was the leader, you know, so I'm putting Eli on there. You know, people could say Lawrence Taylor, whatever. Ain't gonna be mad at it. Eli ain't number 1 though. Who's number 1? Gotcha. Are y'all ready? Let's go to number 1.
Number 1.
Yes, another Yankee. Mariano Rivera. Yeah, I know. You biased, NYG. I like champions. I like champions. Yeah, Eli over Jeter and Rivera over Jeter. And I know y'all saying that's wild, but again, I'm also looking at what they had to do. Mariano Rivera had to close those. You know how much pressure this man was under in the playoffs? Playoffs. Yeah, 196 postseason games, 141 innings pitched, 0.70 ERA. I'll say it again, 0.70 ERA and 42 saves, which means 42 times he shut the motherfucking door and got the dub for the Yankees. That's my number 1 clutch player of all time in New York. You could like it, hate it, debate it, love it, diss it. I don't care. It's my list. How'd I do? Coach.
Impressive. Very impressive. I knew you were going to pick all those players.
You did?
Oh, Dr. J, not Dr. J.
I'm about to say, I know you ain't though.
Not Dr. J. And like Moses said, I'm not mad at it either. It's much respect to that to that list. You know,
it's a my era list. You know, I could have dug deeper into history. You know, but I know you was gonna do that. So,
well,
you're up.
Yeah. Okay. My list, number one, deals with my time. It really does. And from my understanding and comprehension of the game, so I did not put, I'm going to start off by saying I did not put any of the Knicks from the 70s championship. No Willis Reed, no Walt Clyde Frazier, even though I thought about it. But coming in at number 5.
Number 5.
I'm going with the New Jersey Devils as a team, 1995 championships. They were heavy underdogs in the finals against the Detroit Red Wings. And they came away with their first championship with a 4-0 sweep. Think about that. They were underdogs and won 4-0. They became the first team in NHL history to win the title without having home ice advantage in any of the 4 playoff rounds since the playoffs were expanded to a 16-team format. So that's another accomplishment. You know, in the series you had Martin Brodeur as the goaltender, who gave up just 7 goals. 7 goals in 4 games. You had forward Claude Lemieux, who won the Conn Smythe Trophy as the MVP, scoring 13 goals. So he outscored Detroit in that series. So I gave it to the whole team as far as being the performers. And yes, it's about Jersey, but it was the first championship the Devils won, and it was well impressive. Coming in at number 4.
Number 4.
Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, famous for all his clutch performances. In 77 and 78, he had 18 postseason home runs. He also had 3 home runs in consecutive appearances in Game 6 of the 77 World Series against the Dodgers. And that helped the Yankees win that championship. I mean, he is truly the clutch performer. That's why they gave him the name of Mr. October. Yes, Derek Jeter got Mr. November, but Reggie Jackson started it with that clutch name. And don't forget, they named a candy bar after him because of all this. So he was that clutch performer. All right, coming in at number 3.
Number 3.
Now, I did a little something differently, okay? This is about this 2007 Giants, but I threw a little skew on it because everyone's going to talk about Eli, of course. They're going to talk about the helmet catch. I'm talking about that defense. That defense. I mean, that team had one of the greatest upsets we all know in history, beating the undefeated New England Patriots in Super Bowl 42. But that defense, 5 sacks against the vaunted Patriot offense, and Tom Brady and Randy Moss. 5 sacks, 1 each by O.C. Umenyiora, Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan. I mean, they really did dominate that game, man. They did. And you held one of the most prolific offenses to 14 points. I mean, the last game in the regular season, it was a shootout. But you come to the Super Bowl because of that defense, that NASCAR package, the pressure they were putting on. Every time Brady turned around, you seemed to be getting hit. So there you have it, coming in at number 3, that defensive front. Coming in at number 2.
Number 2.
Pretty much my fave Nick, Bernard King. I mean, in this playoff series in 1984 against the Detroit Pistons, his performance was historic. I mean, he averaged 42.6 points during that series. He even scored 44 points, 12 rebounds in a Game 5 overtime win to help the Knicks win that series. He also was consistent in scoring 40 points during the playoffs, and he dealt with injuries during that time frame. I mean, he had 2 dislocated fingers on his shooting hand, and he was still out there performing. I mean, Game 1 of that series, he scored 36 points and helped set the tone of this playoff series. Even in the East semis against the Celtics, he was still on the scoring tears, scoring 46 points in Game 1 and 44 in Game 6 against Boston. I mean, that whole series, playoff series in 84, 213 points, which set a record for a 5-game series. I mean, talk about the shooting efficiency, playing through pain, and just all around putting his team on his back. And this was before Patrick, though. So think about that. Now coming in at number 1.
Number 1.
He's my quarterback, Phil Simms, man. He delivered one of the greatest Super Bowl performances in history in 87. I mean, Giants, close game to start the game against the Denver Broncos, went down at half, came out and just totally took control and won 39-20. I mean, think about this. 22 of 25, 88%, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he was the MVP. I mean, the 88 completion percentage still stands till today. I mean, his passer rating, 150.9, and it was the highest in all Super Bowl history at the time. I mean, Bill Parcells said it best. The best game ever that a quarterback has ever played. I mean, this is why he is my quarterback. And yes, he didn't play in 2 Super Bowls. He has 2 Super Bowl MVPs, but he got hurt leading that team to possibly get their 2nd Super Bowl. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 performances or performers. So say what you want. Like NYG said, this is my list. So
yeah, I love that list, Coach. I like how you presented it as well. Yeah, Eli's my quarterback, so I got an Eli jersey in the closet, got a couple of them. So like, I think he's and that's something that I do value, because it's intangibles. Because when you looking at players, everybody talking about the arm strength and you know in basketball, you know, their shooting ability and scoring ability, you know, and in baseball, of course, you know, you're talking about the home runs, but it's those clutch players. You think about players like Derek Jeter, you know, you think about players like you had, you know, with Phil Simms and Bernard King, you know. Not Bernard King was a superstar, but again, you know, you thinking about just the clutchness that separated them apart, you know, because a lot of people said Eli, even Phil Simms, you know, A lot of people question them, in their Hall of Fame candidacy, but when you look at the numbers in the playoffs, you can't argue. Like you said, 88%. I can't argue with that. In a Super Bowl, that's insane. So yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to that list, man, and yeah, shout out to this segment.
Good
On
job,
to the
man.
next. Yeah, definitely. All right.
All right. So
Let's get into Coach's Corner, man. We're gonna wrap it up with Coach's Corner. That segment though, man, that was pretty dope. Because New York has had some really good players come through, but it's been a spell now. Now I'm gonna ask you this: who would you put up there on more of a recent level? Let's say from 2000-ish on, as a clutch performer. That's a little.
Derek Jeter has to be number one. I mean, it's hard not to argue.
Still in that era.
It's hard not to. I mean, with both of them. I mean, if you want to say both of them are tops, I mean, Eli coming in right behind them, it makes sense, coming from there. So, Bernie was more in the 90s.
Felt like,
Yeah, I mean, I remember that 96. I was there, except for the World Series. I was there for every playoff game, and that stadium was rocking every time Bernie Williams came up to play. And but if you're saying from 2000 down, I'd have to say, you can sparse it. It could be Mariano, it could be DJ. It doesn't matter. You can't go wrong with either of them. And seriously, you can't go wrong with Eli. I mean, they're all grouped together. So after that, I'd probably say CC Sabathia.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, in 09.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna put on Rodriguez. I mean, even though he did perform during the playoffs, he did. In
that one.
It was just that one. So that's why
because he struggled for so long. Yes. Like it was almost like Aaron Judge, how he struggled and finally broke out last year, but the Yankees didn't win.
But when you go through and you think about it even more, it's like that's why. I mean. It's you don't really have much else. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Recently,
I could put on Mike Teal and Ray Rice in that Rutgers team in 2006. Now they didn't make it to any national championship, but they performed at a high level for Rutgers at that time and frame, and I remember the pandemonium at the Piscataway. I was there too, so I mean, and they were clutch. It just, UConn and West Virginia was just always a sore thumb, so I mean, I'm trying.
What about the Liberty?
Yeah, you know what? Yes, good point. The Liberty, especially with the championship 2 years ago, yes. I mean, Sabrina, and that deep three against Minnesota.
I was going to say, yes, Sabrina
Jones,
did a thing,
yeah. So
Jones, John Quell.
Yeah. So I mean, good one right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of, let's get in the coach's corner. I know you're ready for it.
Yeah, I got you.
Let's do it.
All right. So, got a quick one for us today. Not diving too deep into it, but I really appreciate everyone. And let's get right into it, starting with the New York Liberty. I mean, the Liberty, they actually just played their first preseason game this past Saturday against the Indiana Fever. So they didn't come out on the winning end. They lost 109-91, but I will say this. They were not at full strength. Satu Sabali, she was held out. You also had several key players who were still overseas, so they weren't even here. And most of your starters didn't play more than 15, 16 minutes. Han Xiu, who just came back to the Liberty from China after being away for 2 years, she was the leading scorer with 20 points in 22 minutes. Now, remember, Han Xiu is the 6'11 center. So just keep that in mind. And she's going to be a key contributor this year. Trust and believe her. She's confident. Her game is going to another level. She's played in the international game. I believe she played in the Olympics and did well. So she's going to be a key contributor. Now, of the starters, Brianna Stewart chipped in with 16 points in 13 minutes. So one of the things I did notice is Sabrina Ionescu. She only scored 1 point, but she was more, trying to facilitate a little bit more and just trying to get into the flow of the game. They have a new coach, so one of the things that we are noticing is a lot more. This coach came over from Golden State Warriors, so he coached under Kerr. So you're going to see a lot more of that type of offense here, a lot of free flowing. So and it was fun. So it was interesting, and a lot of Liberty fans love it. Now, one of the fan favorites, Anielle Molly, she scored 13 points, and she showed why has endeared herself to many of the fans. She has great scoring ability and a high basketball IQ, which is going to be a valuable asset. She actually just came here from the NBL 1 West down in Australia. And right before she came here, she scored 65 points in the game, where a lot of fans were like, oh my gosh, can we get not 65 points, but if you can get 15 points per game off the bench from her, they're ecstatic. So hopefully, she can definitely solidify her spot and make the roster and be that key contributor. Now, one of the players who just came over from from international, I think it's Maureen Johannes. She just came over yesterday and re-signed with the Liberty. So we're looking for her to come in, get fine-tuned, and then basically help contribute and lead this team, because they have a lot to prove, especially after last year's first round loss against Phoenix. Now, the Liberty have their final preseason game. They're going to be traveling up to Connecticut to take on the Sun. on Sunday, they should be at full strength. So I'm looking to see Satu Sabli and how they get integrate her into the offense. Don't forget she played with Sabrina in college at Oregon. So and they were 1-2 when they came out. So think about that. New York now has those players who came out and they were 1-2. So we'll see how they start to develop from there. So keep an eye. I'll definitely keep an eye out on the Liberty going from there. All right, we're going to move over to Syracuse. And right now I'm going to talk a little bit about the players who were either drafted or signed or invited to with contracts. For Syracuse, they didn't have anyone drafted, but in terms of signing as a UDFA, you had Jack Stonehouse, who was a prolific punter for Syracuse. He signed with Houston. Kelvin Jobidi, he's a defensive lineman. He signed as a UDFA with Pittsburgh. You had Dion Wilson Jr., another defensive lineman, another UDFA with Baltimore. Dan Villari, a tight end, and he's a good tight end. Another UDFA with the Rams. David Reese, a defensive lineman, signed a UDFA contract with the LA Chargers. Demetrius Witherspoon, offensive lineman, signed a UDFA contract with Buffalo. Devin Grant, the defensive back, UDFA contract with the Chargers. And now you had minicamp invites. You had Deuce Chestnut, safety, who received a rookie minicamp invite to the 49ers. Will Dixon, he was a very good running back for them, for Syracuse. He has a rookie camp invite to Buffalo and Tennessee. And then Austin Collins, offensive lineman, rookie minicamp invite to those Philadelphia Eagles. Another offensive lineman as usual. So there you have it with Syracuse. So just wanted to touch base with that a little bit since I did follow them throughout the year, and I just wanted to touch base with that. So moving on to Rutgers. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about their draft picks as well as players who got invites, but before I do that, I wanted to talk about Eric LeGrand. Now, Eric LeGrand was a player who played for Rutgers, who was paralyzed against Army on October 16th in 2010. He has a special award. He was actually inducted into the Rutgers Hall of Distinguished Alumni. Now, it's an award for the distinguished members, alumni members who represent what it means to be an alum of Rutgers and what they have done out in the community. Eric has, been inspiration, going out to speaking to many different events, speaking to those who deal with spinal issues. I can speak to how inspirational he is to me, because I deal with spinal issues, and he's never given up. Never. He continues to fight. He's also an entrepreneur. He's opened up a coffee shop that is growing here in Jersey, as well as he has his own bourbon. He created his own bourbon. So, that's also something that's growing. So, and a lot of people in and around the area support him. So now when talking to him, he said, my dreams have been redefined a lot, from wanting to play in the NFL to now being an entrepreneur and running a coffee shop and a bourbon business. He founded LeGrand Coffee House in Woodbridge in 2022 and co-founded Eric LeGrand Whiskey in 2023. He earned his bachelor's degree in labor and employment relations in 2014. And again, he's been a motivational speaker, an entrepreneur, sports commentator, 13 seasons at Rutgers football games, also with the RWJ Barnabas Health Rutgers Sports Network. He's received numerous awards and honors, including the Jimmy V Award for Perseverance at the ESPYs, and has been inducted into the New Jersey Hall of Fame and the Rutgers Athletic Hall of Fame. His many charitable efforts include establishing Team LeGrand, which has raised more than $2 million for the Reeve Foundation. I'm sorry. That's for Christopher Reeve, just for those of you who don't know, who also dealt with spinal issues, and his tireless support for Rutgers athletics. So there you have it. Kudos to him for that accomplishment. Now, in terms of players, quarterback Ethan Kaliakmanis, he actually was drafted in the 7th round by the Washington Commanders. So hopefully he can catch on and be a 3rd string. If not, maybe catch on to be the 2nd string. Who knows? But we'll see from there. Then that's the only draft pick for Rutgers. You also had Kenny Fletcher, a tight end. He signed a UDFA contract with Tampa Bay. Cam Miller, defensive back, signed a UDFA contract with Carolina. Eric O'Neal, defensive end, signed a UDFA contract with Detroit. DT Sheffield, wide receiver, signed a UDFA contract with the Jets. And then you have Darrell Jaboni, who was offered a rookie minicamp invite to Washington. Also, Djombi was also drafted 3rd overall in the CFL draft recently. So, if he doesn't make it there, he can always go up north. You have Brian Felter, offensive lineman, who has a rookie minicamp invite to Las Vegas and Minnesota. Bradley Weaver, defensive end, received a minicamp invite to Cleveland. Tight end Colin Weber, rookie minicamp invite to Tennessee. And Gus Solinkas, offensive lineman, received a minicamp invite to Baltimore and Indianapolis. So those are the guys between both schools who tapped on and are chasing their NFL dreams. Now, one last thing I wanted to touch on just briefly. Former Seton Hall player, Najai Hines, also from my high school, he recently signed with UConn. My sources have told me, because I did some research onto why, because I asked maybe he would come to Rutgers. That's what I was hoping. But they said basically he signed on for anywhere from $3.5 to $4 million. So it's a better opportunity, and also the opportunity to get to the NBA. So we'll see. I'll keep an eye on UConn, and start including them into the local scene as far as the tri-state area. So that's it for Coach's Corner. I'm back over to you, NYJ.
Yeah, Coach, man. You said she was 6'11"?
Yeah. Look up Hanju. It's HANXU. That's her name. She was here with the Liberty before that. Yeah, HANXU. Those are 2 words.
Oh my God.
And here's the funny thing. China also has a 7'3" center. I think she's 7'3" or 7'4". So, and that girl, I think, is only 20 years old, but she's supposed to be coming over next year.
Yeah. What do you think about you said was it Kalik McManus?
Yeah, Ethan Kaliakmanis. Yeah, I mean, now some people
he's with Washington now,
yeah.
So
he doesn't have a cannon of an arm, but he is good. He's accurate. He's more than serviceable. He doesn't have an arm like Chad Pennington, but he has a good enough arm that he can get the ball downfield. I mean, remember, he had 2 dogs of receivers last year that he was getting the ball to, and Ian Strong and KJ Duff. So, but yeah, I always believe that with Ethan, he's smart, and if you put talent around him, he can make all the passes that you need him to. So, we'll see.
Okay. We will see. But that's all we got for tonight. We're gonna wrap it up, man. Pat, how we do, bro? Any corrections? What'd you think about the coaches segment and what all we put down tonight, brother?
Coach's segment was dope. Can't believe y'all didn't put the Babe on there, man. Babe Ruth.
That's why I said I stuck to. That's why I even said about
that was way back though.
No, but that's why I said I didn't include the Knicks from the 70s. I was alive, but I really
you could have went Clyde Frazier.
And I said I know Willis Reed, Clyde Frazier, Busher, all of them. Yes.
Yep.
But I will ask this question to you guys, which you said current clutch. Can you put Jalen Brunson on there? It's current 2000s.
I mean, you can put him. You can put Melo.
Playoffs,
championship wise though, it's playoffs.
It's tough because you gotta at least get to the championship round. Like I thought about Jason Kidd for the Nets because they at least got there twice.
Yeah, twice. Got there twice.
See what I'm saying?
Jason Kidd was nice.
Yeah, but I was thinking about like champions. Like now
you can't put them on there as champ. That's why I wouldn't have put Brunson or somebody like Kidd or Melo, because Melo didn't do anything in the playoffs for the Knicks. And Jalen Brunson, he's had some clutch series, but they've never reached they reached the Eastern Conference Finals one time. But if you're talking about status like Jeter, that's rings, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
now, if he gets in there this year, then
you have to put him in there.
You can talk about it.
Mariano Rivera, that was clutch. Like nasty. A lot of people are gonna say some stuff, but he was nasty. He was automatic. Every time he came into the game, it was like his game's over.
And that closing a baseball game, man, is like it is one of the most high pressure situations in sports to me. Because bro, like you gotta get 3 outs. But you only got a small margin of error.
One pitch can ruin the whole thing.
One dude get on base. That next dude up might be the tying or winning run. You gotta get him out. That's why I put Rivera up there over Jeter. Yep. That's really why I did that.
But man, coach's segment is always dope, man. Love it. I had fun doing it while Coach was away, but the host is back, man. So love that segment, man. Gotta keep that going.
Most definitely, man. But appreciate you, man. Take us out, man. You know what to do.
All right,
out of here, man.
This has been Heart of the City with your host, NYG Unpopular Opinion Sports. Go like and subscribe. Road to monetization is underway, and he is right there, man. Get his watch hours up, man. Get that man monetized, man. Go like and subscribe and watch and share. Coach Ed is back in action, man. Talking Heart of the City, getting Coach's Corner back. Y'all go subscribe to Coach Ed. Amazing sports. He's talking Liberty. He's talking Rutgers. He's talking Syracuse. He's talking all sports, especially college, man. Can't wait to do some film reviews and everything with Coach this season coming up. This has been Heart of the City, man. I am the guy that's in the dungeon with the back controls. And y'all know what time it is, man. Peace.